Hello everyone, welcome to Value Invest Asia Facebook Live, September edition. We try to have this Facebook Live every single month and talking to interesting people in the investment industry. And this week we are very fortunate to be able to talk to InvestingNote. Unfortunately, maybe I wouldn't say unfortunately, fortunately, over this weekend, Shanison, the founder of InvestingNote, informed me that he couldn't attend because his wife has just given birth. So congratulations to Shanison, and now very busy changing a baby diaper. So we have the next best thing with us. Ethan is with us, Ethan Ho. He is the director of the marketing and business development in InvestingNote. A little bit about Ethan. Ethan is a self-taught investor and have started investing from the US market. And he has also worked in retail banking before. And also he's a graduate of NTU, so he's a smart guy. He's a strong believer of financial and financial and investment literacy, and believe that everyone should be their own investor, which is very similar to us in Value Invest Asia, where we believe that you are your best fund manager. So without further ado, welcome Ethan. Nice to meet you.
Hello, hi guys.
Hey.
Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you Stanley from Value Investing Asia for having me. Definitely. Me and Stanley actually we go way back as well lah. So in a couple of years, I know he's a nice guy, and his content is really good.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I think when we are first starting out, I think InvestingNote really helped us a lot as well. Before we talk about InvestingNote, maybe we talk a little bit about yourself. The founder of InvestingNote is Shanison. Maybe you talk about your journey into the investment field and how you met Shanison. How did you end up working together side by side with Shanison?
Okay, so a bit about myself. So for me, right, when I met Shanison, it's through a mutual friend. So back then, I didn't know anything about investing, So I'm not even from a finance or business background. But for me, I've always been interested in finance and investing. So I took up quite a few investment modules back in university. So that really actually got me started because, it's a very, very steep learning curve for investing. But then again, when I met Shanison, back then he just started InvestingNote. The old office was still in NUS, and he actually was hiring interns to actually help him do some content work. But then again, the very first meeting when I met him, I felt that he's actually a very passionate guy. I could see the passion in his eyes. But then I didn't take up that role was because back then he had no funding. So, being interns, we still had to eat, right? Yeah. But then again, never mind, we kept in contact.
Okay.
So after my graduation, I actually went on to work in a bank. Of course, it's for retail.
Yep.
So throughout the journey for me, the bank actually gave a lot of training as well. So we actually very well versed in unit trust, your bancassurance and stuff.
Right.
But then again, when I was in the branch, I realized that a lot of people actually come to the bank with a lot of money, but they have no idea where to put how to invest. So the very first thing that came off their mind is actually to walk into a bank and just ask the banker, Right. So of course, I wouldn't say that bankers are evil, but I'm just saying that if that person would have a bit of more financial investment literacy, right? That amount of money could have been working harder for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Correct. So after I quit my job, because I just felt that I want to champion investment literacy. Right? Over the bank is more of getting clients to invest. But then I rang up Shanison and was like, hey, how's InvestingNote doing? And he's like, oh yeah, we just got funding from SPH.
Right, okay.
So I was like, wow, really? Okay, let's sit down and talk about it. So then he said that looking for a marketing and business development guy. Then I said, hey, I'm on.
Yeah,
why not?
Okay. Wow,
yeah.
Interesting.
Correct.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about the history of InvestingNote there as well, which I want to really dive a little bit down in. InvestingNote, for those of you who maybe have not heard of them, they're actually now the largest social media platform for investors in Singapore, right? And maybe talk a little bit about the starting of InvestingNote. I understand that when Shaniston first started, he told me his struggles. He really struggled for many, many years before he finally caught the attention of Share Investor. From what you talked to him about, how was the first initial few years like for him?
Okay, so give you a bit background, right? So InvestingNote as a company was incorporated, was registered back in 2014. That's about the time when I met him as well. So from his sharing, he actually said that it was very tough because they had basically he's running on his own funds, like his own savings.
Yeah.
But then again, there was very, very little progress because essentially it's only one man who's doing it.
Right.
So it was very, very difficult. And prior to that, he actually worked in Share Investor as a tech developer for about 4 years, I believe. Yeah. So he actually quit his job. He was doing pretty well there. But then again, he has a certain type of mindset, right, which really inspired me until today, So he's a guy who's a go-getter, and he believes in his passion, which is actually doing what he likes. So he actually came up with the idea and actually quit Share Investor.
Wow.
Yeah, on a good note.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, he started to do his own InvestingNote. And one fine day, he actually got a call up. I think it's either he got a call up from the founders of Share Investor. Yeah, so he got a call up and they met, and he actually told his previous bosses what he was working on, and eventually, as you know, Share Investor is actually owned by SPH.
Yeah.
And they eventually got the funding. He pitched his way through, one person. Yeah, that's inspiring to me. Yeah.
That's a quite amazing story as well. And then after InvestingNote got the funding from Share Investor, you guys really grew from that. And when we remember, in the past without InvestingNote, there's a lot of website investing forum out there. From my understanding, more or less, most of them has already integrated into InvestingNote now. Just from your record now, how many users is active on your platform? And at the beginning, how are you able to convince all these platforms to migrate to your site, and also some of the more prominent bloggers? How do you convince them to get on your site?
Okay, so firstly, right, talking about numbers, we are definitely the first and the largest. So we are very close to 50,000 registered app and web users right now. So how we got to where we are right now, right, it's basically a very tough journey, I have to say. So initially, right, yes, we got close to 500,000 of funding from Share Investor, but this kind of money, if you're talking about acquisition, cost of acquisition, right, in finance industry, if you're running ads, you know that the cost per acquisition is very, very high, because we are essentially competing with people who are brokers and financial institutions, right?
Yeah.
So our strategy was actually to get prominent financial bloggers like yourself, got them on the platform, and actually convince them to actually create an account and establish a social foothold in social media space, right? But again, a lot of bloggers weren't convinced because they just said, you guys are small. I mean, there's a lot of hassle to cross post.
Yeah.
Then after that, that's when we actually thought, hey, we should bring more value to this content publishers, because essentially they're the ones that are their influencers. So what we did was, we had we told them that if you have good articles, we will put it into our weekly email.
Right. Okay.
This email will be sent weekly, and the entire base for everybody to actually appreciate your effort in writing.
Wow.
Another initiative we had was that we actually hold monthly workshops. So monthly workshops, right, is really to help bring the relationship online to actually offline, because some of these people don't get to meet financial bloggers that often.
Yep.
Yeah, so we brought the people, to meet financial bloggers and at the same time learn something. Yeah, that's the value that we actually promise to our financial bloggers.
Okay. Yeah. So from that you get able to convince more bloggers to come on, and then they will help you introduce more of their I guess readers onto your platform, and that created a network effect on your platform right now. And with such a big database that you have, I think it also shows that how investing and especially how we get information about investment really changes over time. In the past, mostly you get the information just from news or from your brokers, but now more and more we are listening to individual investors through your platform to understand some of the investment, why people are maybe those kind of views are more independent. What do you feel that is the main key advantage for, say, a retail investors to join your platform, and what is the main value that they get out of it?
Okay, very firstly, yes, it's true that traditionally, without social media platforms, people are actually receiving retail investors are on the receiving end of news and let's say announcements. Yeah, right. So right now we've created this platform where yes, we have all the news updated in real time, but people are actually discussing their opinions on the news, on what they think, whether it's a good news or bad news. So it's actually the second layer, and it is no longer just receiving, but it's actually a two-way interaction of platform.
Right. Okay.
So you can see if a company releases a certain type of news, investors will actually start talking very actively, and they'll share their views and stuff. Yeah, correct.
Okay. Interesting. So it's more interactive, and people I guess it's looking for those kind of interactive and understanding how everyone thinks about a specific issue.
Yes.
With such a big database that you have now and a lot of content generated, maybe you can share a little bit about what you are looking at on your platform. What are some of the most popular companies that are always being discussed among your users?
Okay, so I think for the past maybe 3 to 6 months, right, there have been a lot of tech companies, Singapore tech companies that investors have been looking at, like for example, AM.
Okay.
Right now it's Creative because they just released the earphones and stuff, and UMS, as well as companies like ComfortDelGro over the because they were affected by the Uber and Grab deal and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, as a retail investor, if you don't have an indication of where other retail investors are looking, right, I wouldn't say you'll be disadvantaged, but then again, you will be one step slower,
right,
because these people are actually actively doing their homework on what's the potential stocks that are good to buy.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you're just joining us, I saw some of you guys just joining us. Mike, Veronica, Benny, welcome to our Facebook Live. We're talking to Ethan, the Director of Marketing and Business Development in InvestingNote. And also, apart from that, some of your big data may be showing, is the general community sentiment now, do you see that they are still very bullish, or they're more bearish now among the community?
Okay, so most of our comments and posts, right, it's all qualitative. We haven't input any quantitative metrics, but from what I see, right, a lot of people are actually very bearish. Because we're talking about the trade war, and of course it's between US and China, but inadvertently it probably affects Singapore as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, correct. As you can see from the stock market right now, the STI actually has been on the downtrend.
Okay. Yeah, I think a platform like yourself will be very valuable, especially on understanding investor psychology. Knowing how they are feeling right now. What are some of the stocks they are interested in right now? I think that's very valuable information. And when we talk about that, also people spreading information and producing content and sharing their views, is there a risk of people spreading fake information just to push up a share price of a company, especially small cap stocks, and all these punters? Is it a problem on your platform? How do you mitigate that?
Okay, very good question. So this question, right, has always been on our minds as well. So when we first started, we have been thinking about this. Hey, what if someone manipulates all this kind of thing? But thankfully, a lot of people, right, when they discuss, right, they are using the actual news source and the actual announcements as a reference, right? They are not creating it from scratch, right? So a lot of discussion is from as a reaction to the real news. Of course, there are, that being said, there are a few cases where people have been spreading fake news. All right. So when they did so, right, we've gone to a sizable amount where people start tagging us and notifying us that, hey, this is actually fake. This person has not verified. So what we did was, first of all, moderate the post, hid it from public view, and after that, we went to do our background check on all the specifics that this person has posted. So we asked the person to actually justify. If not, his post will be moderated and deleted from the platform. So that person didn't say anything, so we actually moderated it. Yeah. And we have a set of community guidelines that our users will have to follow very closely. For example, if you're attacking others or you're spreading fake news, right, your account can potentially be banned.
Wow.
Yeah. Correct.
So even though it looks like a fun website, fun social media platform to us to share information and react to news, there's a lot of actually policing behind the scenes to make sure that things are objective and there's no spreading of fake news on the platform. Wow.
Just to add, right, we have created a culture in our platform where there are a lot of key influencers like financial bloggers. They are also policing for us as well. Once they see something, they will actually they can tag our account, and we remove it or moderate it very, very fast.
Okay. That's good. Okay, so this one part of, I guess, the future of investing that will really happen is the amount of information flow and understanding how everyone else is thinking about that situation, whereas in the past we are always just the receiving end, people telling us what to think. What else do you feel that is going to change in the future for investing? Do you see?
Okay. There are a couple of things. Definitely, I think, right, with the rise, technology is within reason, but technology will actually continue to allow retail investors to become better and smarter over time. Yeah. And a lot of information is going to be free as well, because that's what InvestingNote believes as well. We want to try to make data as free as possible. Right. So then again, if we give you a lot of data, it's how investors actually make sense of the data. So, of course, there are always educators out there who are teaching courses, but then again, we're taking another approach is where it's free, but you learn through conversations. Yeah, for us, it's more of giving a voice to retail investors as well. So in the future, I would expect a lot of retail investors to actually start speaking up.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Correct. So another initiative we have in InvestingNote is that we have a lot of stakeholders. First, we have the retail investors, we have financial bloggers, we have financial institutions, we have professionals like revisors and stockbrokers as well. So right now, we're actually including one more stakeholder, which is listed companies.
Right. Okay.
So just a few weeks ago, we had our very first corporate visit to Centurion. And this is a very intimate session where our investors can actually get in touch with the CEO and the C-suite level management through a panel discussion involving the blogger as well. And after that, we brought them down to tour the company grounds and understand about the company more. It's actually to build more awareness for the listed company as well. So going forward, right, in the future of investings, right, I would foresee more retail investors being able to interact with listed companies directly themselves. And apart from getting information.
It's basically open up the doors for retail investors to reach the management. That's correct. Yeah. We do have quite a number of Malaysian investors with us on our site also. If you guys have any question for Ethan, just comment down below and I'll make sure he answers all of them. But talking about, because I understand that you do have a presence in Malaysia as well. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about how's the progress there, and is there any initiative on that part to improve the interaction in Malaysia?
Yeah. So okay, first off, right, Stanley is probably right. So we actually have some plans to actually go to Malaysia, and
Mm.
we already have a Malaysian a channel for people to discuss about Malaysian stock.
Mm-hmm.
However, that being said, we haven't really developed that go to market penetration
Right.
strategy
Right.
yet
Mm-hmm.
as of now
Mm-hmm.
because we manpower is limited
Mm-hmm.
for us. But in the very near future, we'll be going to Malaysia as well.
Mm.
Then again, for our Malaysian friends over in Malaysia, right? You know, we know that it's Malaysia is a pretty big state as
Mm.
well.
Mm.
But from my understanding, that KL is one of the is the capital,
Mm-hmm.
and where most of the investing community actually is situated at. Lah.
Yep. Yep.
So going forward, we'll be working with a lot of financial institutions like brokerages
Mm-hmm.
and also share investor or investor,
Mm-hmm.
the Malaysian side, and also financial bloggers
Right.
who are very well versed in this area. Well,
Right.
actually, I believe Stanley is very well versed in the Malaysian market as well.
Uh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've seen his blog. He's written some of the on Malaysian
Yeah, we
stocks
do
as well.
cover Malaysia as well.
Correct,
Yes.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll be looking to go.
Whoa, okay, very
Yeah.
exciting. Very exciting news. Now maybe we talk a little bit about yourself. How
Okay.
would you describe your own investment style? What kind of investor are you?
Okay. The very beginning, right, when we were still studying, right, it was sort of a bull market for a lot of those tech stocks.
Which
So
year?
at
Which year is that?
2014, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not
tech
too
and
not too far away.
not too far away,
Yeah.
tech and pharmaceutical stocks. So those were the crazy. So last time when I first started, right, it's
Mm-hmm.
more of
Mm-hmm.
trading,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I learned a couple of terms on investing and the causes, right.
Right.
So I thought I was good. So the very first few stocks I went in was actually, I think, GoPro,
Okay.
when it first got listed back then.
Okay.
So GoPro, I went in about $40. It went all the way up to 100
Yes.
dollars. So it was so crazy,
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I thought it was good because hey, this investing is so easy. Right? But the thing is, right? Of course, I exited GoPro already.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it actually went down by a lot,
Yeah.
and right now I think the price is about $6.
Yes.
So it's 90+% down over the years. So it's pretty scary. Like if I didn't get out in time, I would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, right, I think with Investing Note, learning from the community and as well as all the workshops and myself learning as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my approach is actually more of a macro and top-down approach.
Okay.
Because right, for that I only did some homework on the stocks that I knew of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Same for the pharmaceutical ones. So pharmaceutical, as you know, there are a lot of clinical trials and stuff in the US.
Yeah.
So if one clinical trial was, let's say, disapproved by the FDA,
Yeah.
the stock goes down crazy 20% within a day.
Uh-huh.
That is a lot of volatility involved. But then again, for now, right, if you ask me to go into pharmaceutical, I wouldn't. Right? That is crazy. That's more of
Okay.
speculation. That's not really investing. That's more
Yeah.
of gambling, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I've changed my style, to actually understand from top-down approach. Like for
Ah.
example, last time I didn't even consider whether interest rates was going to affect stocks or not. But now you know that interest rates going to affect the cost of borrowing for a lot of
Mhm.
companies,
Mhm.
and those companies who are highly geared like REITs, right, they're probably going to get affected.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it shows in a lot of like for example the benchmark, your FTSE reinvestment, your REITs, their FTSE index, right? It shows there as well. It's a downtrend and
Yeah.
stuff. Understanding market cycles are also very important.
Right. Okay. Would you be kind enough to maybe share a little bit of a few companies that you recently bought, and you want to share that investment thesis with us? But are you still mostly invested in the U.S. market now, or you are?
Right now, yes.
Ah.
Right
Okay.
now,
Okay.
right. So I think I recently comfortable to share with you guys that I recently invested in Micron.
Okay.
And Micron Tech. So I've been monitoring Micron for a while, and I realized that the financials are doing pretty well. Top of the line, revenue growth steady for the past few quarters. But then again, just to give you some context, about 1 or 2 weeks ago, they actually had some analysts in the US actually said that the semiconductor industry is not going to do well, right? So it's expected that their earnings will probably drop.
Right.
Then that actually caused a 10% dip within 1 day of the stock, based on just some analysts saying that.
Yep.
So what this actually taught me is actually looking from a top-down approach as well. Like for example, if you want to go into a certain sector, you got to see whether the sector is expected to do well or not. Because for the semiconductor industry, it's actually a cycle as well. All right. So the semicon is actually on near the end of its peak already. So it's actually to downturn. All right.
Okay.
But then again, if you look at Micron's financials, they're pretty sound. So I think I'll still be holding on quite a while. And then just at the earnings result was stellar. Yeah, stellar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And normally for your stock, how long do you tend to hold them for? Or is that do you try to restrict yourself to hold them for a longer term, or what's your view on that?
Actually, for me, right, as a retail investor, right, sometimes if you ask me to know when I'm going to look it for, right, sometimes you might not just have the answer, because sometimes, right, it's based on a lot of other factors like catalysts as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So as for Micron's case, there's a catalyst coming. I think they're doing a $10 billion company share buyback.
Right. Okay.
So that might be the catalyst to go up. And I already know that the volatility is actually how the market reacts to all these news.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's irrational, as we all know. So I'm gonna hold a bit more longer to see what the catalyst and the upside potential for this company is for me.
Interesting. Good luck to you.
Yeah, good.
But that's a wonderful chat with Ethan from InvestingNote. I think if you guys want to know more about InvestingNote, let me share their website here. Just go to investingnote.com. You'll be able to sign up for a free account. They are also on your mobile app, so both iOS and also Android. You'll be able to download and try it out. And if you're looking for like-minded investors and to have a community that you can talk to, especially about Singapore stocks, I think you cannot go wrong with InvestingNote. So thank you very much once again for Ethan for joining us.
Thank you, Stanley, for having me.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, thanks, Stanley.
Thank you.
All right, all the
See you.
best. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.